Hello everyone, it's Lynette with Charmed Grammy Crochet. Today I am filming in the attic of the new filming space. I can't show it all to you, it's still a mess. And I know I don't have the normal background, but I took everything off of my bed rail that I've been hanging stuff on because I had people, at least one person anyway, question what some things were. And so I thought I'm going to take them off because I need shelving up here to organize and stuff, but I have some shelving and I want to hang some of the stuff where you can see things better as I make them, change them out, and I want to put some things on these shelves that are made that, so I can switch things out or whatever. And as I was taking things off, I'm like, there's things on here that I don't think I've ever even shown because it was before I had on my YouTube channel. So like early makes, which you may or may not want to see, particularly after you've seen them. If I know where the pattern is from, I will link it. I will tell you. If I don't remember, sorry. I don't remember. One of the things that was hanging on there, I'll probably be pausing, but I want it as I'm taking the things off so I can put them in the shelves, cubby holes that I have for them. I'm thinking I may as well just do a video and show you guys. So that's what's up. So one of the things that was hanging on there is the felted purse that I made. And this is yarn. I know the yarn is yarn that I got from Hirschner's, and it was like alpaca. It makes me cough, even though it's the fibers. I think they're in my throat. I don't know. Anyway, Dittmer Knittery taught us how to do this, and it's fabulous. It was a lot of work. Not the crocheting. The crocheting was very quick. The felting, a great deal of work. And anybody that felts, I give you a ton of credit. I love the purse. I think it's gorgeous. I love the yarns and how they came out, like a sunset sunrise kind of theme to them. I don't think I'll ever do it again. It was way too much work for me. I don't mind the background here because, like I said, I'm still working in here. This is my heat press. Oops. And I'm just going to hang that on there. Also hanging up in there was this lapgan that I made a long time ago. It was one of my first projects, and it's just I don't know, I think I double crochet, chain one, double crochet, chain one kind of thing. This was a yarn that I purchased from AC Moore. So it's just a big blanket. I loved the yarn, and I was new at crocheting and didn't know, like, if you really want to make a big blanket, you need a lot of yarn. But it's very soft. You can't get it anymore, obviously, because it's from AC Moore. But I loved the yarn, and I had one skein, and AC Moore went out of business. I'm like, what am I going to do with one skein? So I made a lapgan. It's a real thick yarn, and it is real soft, but obviously it is not anti-pilling because it's pilling all over the place. But I still really loved it, and I'm really sorry that AC Moore is out of business. But I'm going to put that on my shelf over there, and so that's that. This is a sampler blanket. The yarn is all that Dreamweaver yarn that I used to get from my discount store that you can't get anymore. And it was a once a week sampler. I might still have it in my playlist, and I could, because I'm sure you can still do it. This is where I learned that my, like doing the sampler was a great idea, and I love the colors that I chose to do it with in this yarn. It's like a 3-weight, and it's really soft, and I took some inspiration from Crochet Rosetti to use like darker muted colors and then add a pop of something really colorful. But this is where I learned that my stitch gauge can always be way off. And so in making the dozen squares or so that I made, it was a total pain in my rear end. I like had a swatch every week and change hooks, and it was way too confusing for me at the time because I was a new crocheter, and the whole idea of doing this, it's barely lapgan size. but the whole idea of doing this was to learn the different stitches. Well, I still don't remember how you do each different stitch anyway, and it was um, the concept is great for me. It's still my, from one day to the next, my gauge can change. So I've learned that sampler blankets are not something I should ever do, which is why with Jada InStitches, I'm not doing her sampler blanket. I'm gonna do the stitches, but I'm not making a blanket. This is made out of, I know everybody calls it Hellspun, but I really love homespun. This was a poncho. I got it from one of the stores. I can't remember if it was Michael's or if it was Hobby Lobby, a free hang tag. And it's like mostly just, I think, treble crochets. And then and it had the cowl, but I added a pocket because I like to wear this at the campground when it's chilly. And I added buttons to keep it closed. And I wanted the pocket so I can put my hands in it if I'm walking through the park. And I don't remember how much yarn I used, but it was really simple. I think I made it in a weekend. And then it's got the ribbing around the edges. Let me put it on for you real quick. That's why I changed this way, so I could add and remove if there's garments. So let me back up. I gotta move my chair. But you can see it up close this way. So there's no sleeves because generally if it's chilly out anyway, I'm wearing a hoodie. But it's got the cowl. It drapes. This yarn drapes really, really nice. I do find that you have to, I use that Stitch Fix or whatever because it's got that thread that holds it all together. The yarn itself has, I don't know if you can tell because it is pilling, but there's a thread in this. You can see this blue, purple thread, and it holds the yarn together. So then when you cut the end, and it frays really bad. And so anyway, this is the poncho that I made, and I love this poncho, and I do wear it at the campground. And I added buttons, like I said, because a big wind, come on, blow me away. But I do love it. And I added a pocket that wasn't part of I just did the same stitch pattern, and just turned it sideways and sewed it on for my hands. And I made the cowl long, but like I can hide in it if I needed to when it was a chilly wind in the fall. And so anyway, I have more of this yarn in this color. I had a lot and I didn't use it all. But this is this. And I did enjoy wearing it at the campground quite often after I made it. I don't remember how long ago I made it. It's heavy. This yarn will keep you warm. That's for sure. Then I made this shrug. This is a shrug that I made Annoo crochet. Annoo, I think is how she spells her name. And it is a shrug. It's the first time I ever made anything like this. And there are armholes. There we go. The pattern, I was a new crocheter again at that time. And so it's just like a big granny square. You just keep going around and around and around until you make it big enough for yourself. Now I love this pattern. This is a yarn that was also AC Moore yarn. Some kind of something that was brushed. So it's really, really soft. Hard to frog though. But the thing, and I'm a larger girl, so I wanted it to cover everything. And it hangs down low, you can't see, but it hangs down to my mid calf. So I can really curl up in it on a chilly day. And I can use it as a hood if I needed to. So I can fold it down and it's, more like a cowl. And you don't have to make it this big. That's the thing about these shrugs. You can make it and just make it to like cover your shoulders, which around here, sometimes that's really nice. But I wanted it to be big enough that I could do this on a cold night and I love it. It's fabulous. And I do wear it out, and I get compliments on it. Particularly, it's like wearing a big, huge blanket because it is a big granny square that you just kind of sew up the sides. Pretty simple to make. And then I added cuffs for the, per her, because I had no idea how to do that, but, add cuffs, add a little border, and it was fabulous. I'm into that word today. Then this is a pattern by Bag O' Day. I don't remember what pattern it is. This is, I think, DK Colors yarn. It's a 3, and it's just a easy, simple wrap. Oops, it got stuck. It got stuck. But just a simple, easy little wrap. I just really loved the colors, and like I said, it was a simple, easy wrap with some kind of shell stitch. I don't remember which Bag O' Day pattern it was. I made this a couple of years, probably 3 years ago. But I do remember that it was DK Colors yarn that I used. So I'll put that back up on the shelf. Now these things, so this is kind of, so let me show you. I had a dress, and it was a summery dress, and we were going to Missouri. And it was spring. I knew Missouri could be warm or cold at that time of the year, depending on where you're at. They still get snow, but it's warmer weather than here because it's way south. So I had this little dress, and it had I think a cap sleeve, or maybe it was even sleeveless. And it was in this color blue, and it has white flowers on it. And I had this sparkle white yarn from my mother. I have no idea what this blue yarn is. Like a denim-y kind of blue. And there was a pattern that you make these flowers and you attach them together and you make a top. I love this woman's patterns. I don't know her name, and it's all done in, I'm pretty sure she's broken English or Spanish. I'm not sure. And again, this was probably 3 years ago. So anyway, I made the flower motifs. I couldn't understand or figure out how you were supposed to connect them together. I think she made a poncho out of them. Anyway, I just kind of did the fishnet thing, and it was matched my top, or matched my dress, and then I could just throw it over and keep my shoulders a little bit warmer. And I made a matching clutch. Well, not really a clutch, but kind of a clutch. I think, hold on, it's been a while since I had this purse out, but I think, oh yeah, yep, I did do that. I made it so that I put this little button on it to hold it closed. But I think I made this so that you could carry it or you could throw it over your shoulder. So that is what I did. And then I could put my phone in there and my glasses, and Rory had to carry everything else in his wallet, like the money. Or you could just pull this up, because I just made it loose in there, and have it two-stranded and just carry it. Of course, now I know I probably, like, this should have been made out of cotton yarn, so it wouldn't be so stretchy. But, I always knew. And anyway, so they matched, the yarns matched, and they're lacy and frilly, and I thought it was really cute. And I would still wear it. When I still have the dress, it still fits. I haven't outgrown it, so that's good news. And when I do wear it, depending on where we are, I would wear this with it. We're going to Ocean City, Maryland soon, and if it was, I don't think the weather is going to be all that warm, so I don't think I'll wear it, but maybe. Then I have this. This is the sweater I made. I don't know where I came up with this. And I've never worn it, and I probably never will. It's not the greatest. Maybe it's why I don't make sweaters anymore. I don't know where I got the pattern from. I ran out of yarn, so I filled in with this blue. It's just kind of this is what you do when you don't know what you're doing. And I didn't, but the pattern ain't bad. The yarn selection probably not so good. I did put a pocket. What good it does when it's all full of holes, I don't know. But I'll show it to you just because that's what I made. I made it and you can see it. And it's been hiding in a box because really I don't show it to people. But you know, if you're a new beginner and you don't know what you're doing, it's okay. Everybody starts somewhere and has projects probably. Well, at least I have projects that you're like, what in the heck were you thinking? And so that's been stored in this box along with, now this is something I know I've never shown you. And this is very special to me. I received this from my godmother who made it for me when I was 10. And it's just a white poncho, double crochet, kind of thick yarn. And I wore it when I was 10. I don't think it'll go over my head now. But it's very special to me. She has since passed, and I've just always kept it. I did let my granddaughters wear it a couple of times, but I keep it as a memento of my godmother, who was also my second cousin, my dad's cousin. And so this is like 50 years old, because I got it when I was 10, and I'm 59. I just turned 59, so it's an old piece, and the yarn is still good, and the, you know, everything is still wonderful. You know, it's still great. And I don't know how I got it to fit in this box before, but it doesn't want to fit in there now. Come on, just be nice and get back in your little home. So I keep that, and like I said, I have let my granddaughters wear it with me, you know, when we've been someplace, but I forgot about it. So those couple of items are stored in this really cool box. I have 3 of these for storing, and some of these things that I'm showing you are going to end up in boxes like that, and sometimes I'll have them open and sometimes I'll have them closed because that's what I can do. So let me grab some more things. Just talk amongst yourselves here for a second. I'll grab another handful of stuff from back here. Don't fall. Don't trip yourself. Don't knock the phone over. Good job. I did good, guys. Nobody fell. Nobody got hurt. All right. So then I have, this is my first luck of the draw from Nan's Next Knots. I made a Ruana. This is using the pattern that Nan came up with for the luck of the draw. I just, instead of making it a blanket, I made it kind of a blanket with holes in it. This is my campfire Ruana, and I really wanted, this is one of the reasons I wanted to take this off the shelves. It's cold here in northern Ohio, and I wanted this for wearing, and I've had it up here on my bed rail rack thing, and I'm like, I need that. I need to wear that. So I made this. It's just different kinds of yarns. Some is Dreamweaver, some is Red Heart, some is, it's just all different yarns. I just had a variegated yarn that's inside this pocket, and this is some kind of Red Heart Comfort or something yarn. Hugs, Red Heart Hug yarn, whatever that is. And I chose that, and then I picked colors that were in there to go for my other 8 colors. And they were all yarns that I had in the house. And then this is, I think, Heather Gray, Lion Brand Pound of Love Heather Gray for the gray. So when you make, I just, you know, like start like making a blanket, but you just make it to the size that you want. Then you leave an opening of a few rows to make your neckline. Then you fold it in half and put it around your neck. I also added pockets because I wear this at the camper, around the campfire on the chilly nights. And I can put my phone in my pocket. I can put my hands in my pocket. I can put dog treats in my pockets. So I wanted pockets for that. So this is what I just left space, where I chained, and then I just crocheted around and around, and that had nothing to do with the colors of the luck of the draw. I just used what yarn I had the most of when I was done. And so I added the pockets that way. And I totally love this. And this is going downstairs so I can wear it on my couch. Because, like I said, it's been really cold. And we're supposed to get single digits again this week. Thank you so much, Mr. Weatherman. Okay. Then I made another one of those. This was my prototype for that. And this is the Rowena I made for Roy. And I kind of did Nan's Next Knots stitch, but I did, I think I put a next stitch in there. No, I did not. No, I did Nan's Next Knot stitch for Roy's. And this is Sweet Rolls. And I followed Nan's pattern to figure out how to make the Rowena, and made this one for Roy. And I'm going to take this one down for him because he's been freezing too. Then I have this blanket. And I don't remember. I think this is a granny square design that I got from Creative Grandma. And I used the center yarn. This yarn right here is a Dreamweaver yarn. But then these bright colors are, the solid colors are Deborah Norville. And this might be a Dreamweaver yarn too, I think. And this is definitely a Dreamweaver yarn, the black. And I just made my neon granny square blanket. I also take this to the campground. But we get mice in the camper in the winter, and I'm not leaving my crocheted stuff in there. Just because I don't trust that the mice won't want to make a really nice warm bed out of my crocheted items. This is the second one of these that I made because I did one. I was making one for myself, and my granddaughter was like, "Grammy, who are you making that for?" And I said, "Do you want it?" And she said, "Yes, please." So, so she got one. And then I had to make another one for me. And luckily I had I had enough yarn to do that with, of all these colors. And it's really soft. So I don't know what yarn, the Dreamweaver yarn, I think it's some kind of Bret Hart yarn most of the time. But this is really soft, and it drapes well, and it was fast to make the squares. And then I did a continuous join that Crochet Rosetti taught me how to do in one of her videos. So this will go back to the campground when the camper opens. And it's been washed because, it smells like camper after a while. I think this is the blanket that somebody was really wanting to question. And I really enjoyed making this blanket. I made this last summer, spring and summer. This was part of the crochet calendar that we did last year. I took, I believe they're mandala cakes, that I had two separate colorways of one cake. And I loved the colors. So I made the centers of, and that's the popcorn stitch. And then I put all the colors as they came out in a rainbow style. And then I put white around them to make the square. And then I used the remaining mandala or a third mandala, I can't remember, to do the join and to make the border. And the border is just, that fishnet kind of thing. And the colors just kind of ombre together, and that's the way I put it together. So it's all mandalas except for the white. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're mandala because it's the 3 weight. And I think it turned out gorgeous. It's the crochet calendar from last year, 2021, and I have that calendar, but it's basically, circles turned into squares, popcorn circles turned into squares, joined together. And I was making it for Polar Express, I was going to donate it there for their charity, and I still will. That's what it's for. One day, hopefully, they'll get those kids back up to, I think it was Polar Express is what it's called. It's children, and I think it's an actor that does it, or was doing it. And it's children of fallen soldiers get to go to Disney World, and they get a crochet blanket on their bed at their hotel when they arrive. So you're not allowed to do red, white, and blue colors because it reminds them of the flag, and their parents came home with the flag draped over their remains, and so you don't do rainbow, you don't do that. But I think it's a great charity, and I would donate to that all the time, more. But they haven't done it for the last 2 years because of COVID. So I hope that they get to doing that again real soon, because I will make blankets and donate for that. I think it's so awesome. And I have blankets. I can easily make blankets. This is also a Bag O' Day pattern. It is a poncho. And then I put a brooch on it. That's just a pin. And this yarn, it was Dreamweaver yarn, that discount yarn. This thing is so freaking heavy. This yarn is a 7 weight. And I didn't gauge the neckline very well for myself. I think I used that 35 millimeter hook I have that I call my boyfriend because it's blue and big. And it is, I actually have it right over here. But this is Essentials by Red Heart, I think is the yarn. I had it from Dreamweaver. I used several skeins of it. I don't remember how much, but I do believe this was a pattern by Bag O' Day. And I believe I used this huge hook. Let me get it out of there. The hook is even heavy. So it's work to use this hook. I love the poncho. I love it with this collar underneath, actually. The leftover yarn that I had, because I know I got the yarn at my discount store. And this is a 35 millimeter hook. This is from the Hook Nook. It's really, really warm. And I had leftover yarn, and I made pads for the wrought iron chairs I have at the campground. I don't know what kind of washing instructions would be on this, but it leaves me fuzzies everywhere. So I don't like wearing it because I'm always getting fuzzies in my mouth. But I think it's real pretty. But it's going to go on my shelf over there because it really doesn't hang well. Fuzzies in my mouth, sorry. It doesn't hang very well. So that's the last of those. I got a couple more things. So thanks for hanging in. Okay, these last few. So this is Amanda's Patriotic blanket. I made this for my daughter, who was big time into red, white, and blue blankets, red, white, and blue everything. And she's like, Mom, make me a blanket. And she kind of helped with inspiring the design of it. I do have a tutorial. I do have a written pattern. The tutorial probably really sucks bad. So I'm going to apologize in advance for it. But people have made it. If you want the written pattern, just let me know, email me. I will be glad to send a PDF to you through email. And I did make another one, and I gave it to my brother-in-law because this was my original, and then I made another and gave it to my brother-in-law, but it had a blue border on the last here, and it looked really nice. I would advise doing that, but it's not in the pattern and it's not in the tutorial because it's not. And I kept thinking I was going to add the border to this, but I never did. I'm not sure what yarns I used. I'm sure the tutorial will tell you. It's like Super Saver or Big Twist or, you know, those kind of yarns. Popcorn's in the middle, so you start with the middle, and we work our way out. So we make this square, and then with the bobbles in it, and then we went to the granny and the, you know, grannies in between. But I have gotten a lot of people have made this, well, several anyway, and I'm proud of the design. And like I said, Amanda kind of helped inspire the design, and that's one of the first things I ever designed. So anyway, that's that. And then I made this. I might have made this first. I don't even know. This is like a lapgan size. Throw over the back of your couch. It's also red, white, and blue. This was made with Bell yarn from AC Moore. So it was at least a bulky 5, maybe a 6-weight yarn. I call this my no star blanket because there's no stars on my no star flag blanket or something like that. Because there's no stars in the flag. And it's just half double crochets. Very simple. But you do, as you're crocheting the square, the blue square, then you change color. Now I've had a lot of people make this since you can't get this yarn anymore. I've had people do with like using 2 strands of worsted weight or even 3-weight, but blue and white to give it that, you know, that heathered or whatever, marled or whatever look that is, washed out look, and it looks really, really nice that way. So if you can't find a yarn that works like that and you want to make this, 2 strands together work really well with a white and your blue. And again, that is, I have a pattern for it. I didn't do a tutorial. I can't get the yarn. But I didn't do a tutorial. I do have a pattern, just written notes pretty much, because it's all half double crochet. So it's just when to change color, pretty much how that works. And feel free again to email me, charmedgrammycrochet@gmail.com, and I'll be glad to send you the pattern. But that is more like notes. It's not, you know, chain 25, row 1, chain 25. You know, it's just, this is what I did, and it's just like if I was telling you how to do it verbally. Now the next 3 things I'm going to show you, my mother made, and I just thought I would pop them in because they are also in my yarn room, or this room. They'll be up in here, and I might hang them on my rack so you can see for a little while. She made me this, I don't know what it's called. I don't know what the, you know, it's, what is it, hexagons, with popcorn flowers in the center. And so anyway, she made me this blanket. It's a good throw size, and I don't use it because a couple of spaces had started to come undone, and she fixed them. This was before I knew how to crochet, and so I gave it to her, and she fixed them, and I didn't know that she had fixed them. And she had the blanket in a closet, and when we were cleaning out her stuff after she passed, I found it, and I thought it wasn't fixed, and yet she had never told me that she finished fixing it. She even has a tag in it. It says "Made with Love by Mom" on the tag. So anyway, it's very precious to me, and I don't want anything to happen to it. So it's not going to be put in general use. Then she used to do Swedish weaving. She had quit crocheting and she has started Swedish weaving, which I found this one in her house and it's stained. So I'll show you the part that's not stained. This is Swedish weaving, and you take this cloth that's called monk cloth, and then you apparently it's like got these, it kind of is maybe like embroidery material or something. Anyway, you pull out strands of this and you weave through with your yarn. So and I found this when we were cleaning out her house and I stole it. And I kept it. She really enjoyed Swedish weaving, and I'll get a closer up of the design part, the bigger design part, so you can see it better. She made one for a couple of the grandkids before she passed away, and she put their names in it. Like she designed the pattern part of it herself, and she wrote, Chloe has one that has her name in the pattern part here. So that's pretty cool. I had some books and I sent them off to one of my subscribers because she Swedish weaves and wanted the patterns. I think this cloth is hard to come by nowadays. It was when my mom was getting sick. It was hard to find the cloth. She used to get it at like Joann's, and then they quit carrying it, and she used to buy it at Walmart even, and they had quit carrying it. So she was having a hard time getting it. But this is another design she did where it's, you know, same design throughout the whole blanket. This was one she had done for me specifically. And again, it's very precious to me, so I don't put it on my couch where the dog might claw at it or something. Somebody will spill something on it. And I would be highly upset. Now the last thing I'm going to show you is I am not a sewer by any means. But I used to subscribe, I think it was through Life magazine, to this weekend crafts. And they would send you once a month, once every couple of months, I don't remember, cards of projects that were supposed to be weekend projects. You can make this project in a weekend. And one of them was a quilt. And my mother had always wanted a quilt. She said, you know, I've always wanted to learn how to make a quilt. I've always wanted a quilt. Well, they sent this, you know, my monthly subscription or whatever. And there was this weekend quilt. And I'm like, cool. I can make a quilt in a weekend. How hard can it be? It says make it in a weekend. It took me 6 months. Again, as I said, I am not a sewer, a seamstress. I did not know all the terms. I took my mom with me to buy the fabric because it was going to be for her, and she was going to, after I started reading through this, I'm like, I have no idea what this even says. You know, on the bias. I still don't know what that is. My mother explained it to me 900 times, I'm sure. I don't remember. How how you're supposed to lay it out, how it all works. So my mother ended up helping me with it, how you're supposed to lay the patterns out on the fabric, how, you know, whatever. But I did the sewing. Like I said, she helped to get me started, and I did the majority of the sewing. I don't think she sewed any of it. I know she helped cut out the pieces, helped me learn how to fit them together properly. So anyway, I made this for her. Well, we kind of made it together, and she kept it on her bed for a long time. And I think there was some leftovers, and she quilted it and made a cover for the bench that sat at the end of her bed. And so the quilt was on the bed, and then the little bench at the end of the bed. The bench I have in my yarn room downstairs now, but she recovered it, like it got frayed and stuff over the years, because I probably did this shortly after we moved in this house. I'm going to say 25 years ago. So I'm going to show it to you. And it's been hiding in with some yarn there. It's pilling. I don't know if it's pilling or if it's yarn pillage. Anyway, I won't show you that part. So this is what it looks like anyway. I don't know what the square, I'm not a quilter. I don't know what the motif is called. And maybe the weekend craft was a smaller blanket, like a crib size blanket or something that you were supposed to do in a weekend. But this fit on her queen size bed. So it's that big. And then this is the back. We used the same border fabric on the front and made the back on that. And it's real soft. I had to lay it out, like I had to move furniture out of my living room and lay it out on the floor and pin it all together and run a pretend stitch through it, like just like a running stitch to hold it together so that I could sew it on the machine, because it is machine sewed, or I'd still be working on that sucker. And then I made a edge. We had to, tuck it in and all that junk. And anyway, this is my one and only quilt. I will never do that again. At least I don't think I will. I have no desire to do it. And now I can't move my furniture out of my room because it's too heavy and it's on carpet. And I'm too old for that. So I don't know what people do that make big quilts. I know in the olden days they used to have like a rack that you would bring down from the ceiling. My sister-in-law that lives in South Carolina had one hanging from her ceiling for a while because she was quilting. I don't know how you reach the center, but she hand quilted, and I say more power to you, lady. She was hand quilting. I am not doing that ever. I don't even like sewing amigurumi pieces together. There's no way I will ever make another quilt, let alone a hand quilt. Well, I might, maybe a small quilt I would do again, like if one of my grandkids wanted help with it or something. But never anything that big again. So that's all the stuff that was hanging on my wall. I got fibers all on my nose and my throat. But that's all my wall stuff. That's gonna, some things are gonna go back up there, and then I can change them out easier. But my ruanas are going downstairs so I can curl up with them, and new projects can hang on my thing easier. I had it too full. You couldn't see what was there, and I want to hang them differently. So that's where we're at. I want to thank you for hanging out for the last almost 45 minutes. If you stuck around to see the whole show, don't laugh at the things that were not very good. You gotta start somewhere. And thanks for liking, thanks for commenting, thanks for sharing and subscribing. If you're not subscribed, it's free. Just hit the button, hit the bell so you're notified if and when I put out another video. I'm sure there'll be another video. I do have to show you my yarn room. I got in new bags, more bags. I have space to put more yarn. That up here is only going to have whip bags. I'm pretty sure that's all the yarn that's going to be in this room is whip bags. Because when I film, I'm going to film up here, so they're going to be up here. I'll leave them, after I film, I'll leave the weekly ones, the monthly ones. I'll leave the whip bag up here until I need it for the next week. And then finished projects will be up here. So that's I think all the yarn is going to be downstairs. My yarn books are going to be up here. My giveaway stuff is going to be up here. My filming stuff is going to be up here. Obviously, my finished projects are up here. I need some shelving. I have stuff in boxes. It's still a mess, but it's getting there. I think I need to take my husband shopping for some shelving. I have the shelf that Amanda bought me for my scrap yarn, and I don't know if I want to put that here or if I have a space for it. I would love to be able to put it downstairs, because if I decide I want blue eyes and I had grabbed different color eyes for my amigurumis, I don't want to come up 3 flights of stairs because I crochet in the living room. So I don't want to come up 3 flights of stairs to get another color of yarn. another scrap or whatever I'm using. And I won't use up the scraps if I can't see them on a regular basis. So I think it'll just mostly be projects of yarn that are up here. So that's awesome. And that's all I have for you today. When I get done completely with the yarn room, which might be today, I will film again and show you how it turned out. Until then, or until the next video, whichever comes first, I'll see you. Have a great rest of your day, rest of your week, and see you next time. Bye.